Hi everyone, to another video. Today I thought it would be interesting to bring my husband Carl into my YouTube channel.
This is the first time. Yeah,
it is the first time.
YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I'll have to start creating one. Well, I have one, but
you've done some cameos and videos.
Yeah.
Kind of just on our walks and stuff when we're doing 75 hard. But yeah, Carl actually has done Carnivore with me for the past month. Today is the 31st of July. We started on the 1st of July, so I thought it'd be really interesting to bring Carl on and ask him about his experience and how he has found the month, and just kind of like his motivations, why he did it, because like I think everyone's going to do it differently, and what kind of progress Carl has got and what his plans are going forward beyond today, because we did just plan to do it just for the 1 month. So we have succeeded, granted, like we have dinner and everything that's cool this evening.
I don't think we're going to break it now.
So just before we kick in, I have like a sheet here with some questions or ideas on them, but I'm just going to let Carl kind of free speak at any time that he wants.
Free speech, yay!
Whenever he wants. But I just thought we'd preface the video with a little bit of an introduction to what is Carnivore. Yeah. So the reason I want to do that is because there's multiple different types of carnivore, and if you go onto YouTube or whatever, you'll see multiple different people saying that they are carnivore, but you watch them and they're all eating completely different things. So I thought I'd start off with like what's probably the most strict and then work our ways down. So there's a diet called the Lion Diet, which was named by Michaela Pearson, Jordan Pearson's daughter, and that is just ruminant meat, so animals that have like 4 stomachs or whatever, so elk, cow, all those. Salt and water, and that's it. And you can have sparkling water with that, because sparkling water is just carbonated water. So that would be the most strict, I suppose, that you can get. Some people will do like raw meat and they'll fast and stuff. We won't even go into that. Then we have what we have done, which would be, I would consider the second strictest. So it's just meat, water, eggs and salt, and again sparkling water. So no other dairy from me. Carl has had a little bit. Carl.
Yeah, a little bit of there you go. A little bit of lactose-free milk.
Yeah, and
that's
coffee.
And butter.
And butter.
So I'll tell the audience, tell the listeners, what I've had. So basically, all meat, and I said to myself. Actually, I'll roll it back a little bit. The reason why I wanted to do it was
I'm gonna do that.
Alright, go on.
Yeah, I'm just describing what it is first.
Right, grand.
So basically, what I did was just meat, eggs, water, salt. That's it. Carl also included some coffee, decaf coffee, a little bit of lactose-free milk in his coffee or scrambled egg, and a little bit of butter. So that's what he did. So it's kind of like a lighter version of mine. There is another version, which I think is the most popular one of carnivore, which includes all animal products. So you'd have people eating cheese, yogurt, cream, like all the stuff, like all the things that are animal products, they'll eat that. We did not do that. Carl, again, had a tiny bit of dairy, but like that's minimal.
Yeah. And it was lactose-free milk.
Yeah, and full fat butter. Yeah. But yeah, so that I think is like probably the most popular version, because there is a lot more available on that. And then what some people you'll see having as well is the likes of coffee, or they might use seasonings, which we have not used. We've only used salt. So
which
that
is lovely, by the way.
It has been really nice. Yeah. And including electrolytes in once a day as well. We've both done that. So the next thing is, Carl, why did we do carnivore? So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I guess one of the reasons why is because we're stronger together. So like if one of us is doing something like that, then the second person doing it, like we hold each other accountable, and it's nice to have a second support there to just be like, no, don't be eating that, like you know, or don't even try eat that, like, you know. And yeah, it's just accountability. And I think when your partner or someone you love or whoever is on a journey like that, it is important to like get right behind them and, you know, encourage them, and if not, take part. And I said to myself, you know what, I want to try something. I want to try something different. Like the month of July is going to be kind of a quietish month for us, so we said, you know what, let's do it. Initially I was kind of going to go for only 2 weeks, because I didn't actually believe in myself to do it. Like I was kind of like, Jesus, like meat and all for breakfast. Like I haven't had ever meat for breakfast. When I say meat for breakfast, I mean like just predominantly meat. Like, you know, whereas like usually I'd have, you know, eggs, you know, your usual kind of like Irish breakfast, but not all the time, of course. But I would also have like where I had this like pre-programmed mindset where I couldn't leave the house without having some cereal, or like if I didn't have cereal in the morning, and whether that cereal is porridge or just like, you know, the other crap, I'm gonna say crap, that's out there, like, you know, it really, to me, I wanted to break that habit. I wanted to break a lot of habits. I wanted to break, you know, having cups of tea with like sugary items, whether that's like biscuits or, you know, I wanted to break all of those things. And I knew it was going to be more, I did it more so for the mental challenge. I knew that it was a diet, so eventually I would probably lose or drop a bit of weight, which I have. I've dropped over like 8. Okay, yeah. And I, you know, so for me, I just wanted to do it as a mental challenge and something that is something to do as well. Like, you know, I wanted to test myself and test my body. I believe that, you know, to a certain extent, you know, you can heal yourself and you can, you know, without going down that rabbit hole, like there's a lot of healing that your body is able to do. And, you know, I felt like, you know, let's try this. And it's strange because we were vegetarians for years. Like when I met Brona, I was a meat eater, but then I switched vegetarian. And, you know, without getting too, without going down the rabbit hole of Klaus Schwab and all these people saying you'll eat bugs, I was just like, you know what, no, I actually, if I want to eat steak, I'm going to eat steak. If I want to eat chicken, I'm going to eat chicken. I do not want to be fed or programmed to, you know, eat bugs and be happy, you know, because that's where it's going. But anyway, that's another story. But I think for me, that was the real kind of reason, was to really just do it for the mental challenge and do it for the support as well. Because I know when me and Brona put our heads together like that, we can achieve so much like things. And to be honest, like, you know, even today I was talking to a woman and she was like, wow, that's so inspiring, because, you know, she sits down and eats her little jellies in the evening times and stuff like that. And, you know, it's just habits, like, and these are all little habits that we have formed, micro habits that we're not even consciously aware of that we do. And, you know, I wanted to break these and these small little habits. But anyway, that's why I wanted to do it.
And I will say about Karl, I'm very, very, very impressed that he has made it the full month, because you have such a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Like, Karl loves his snacks, loves a bit of chocolate or a biscuit with a cup of tea. And when I say a biscuit, it's like half a packet.
It's not that bad. But it could
Karl.
be. It definitely could be a half packet. Easy, like, if, you know, why not, like,
stuff.
You know,
yeah,
one of young ones.
You know, you would be more prone to the sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I knew when I was younger, I was more prone to the sweet stuff. But I knew that I had done strict paleo for 2 years before turning vegetarian/pescatarian. So I knew that I had like a history of eating like high protein, high fat, low to zero carbs prior. So I didn't worry about myself so much, but I thought it'd be interesting to see how Karl got on. So I have to say I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
First and foremost. For myself, why I did it, there's really like the one main reason, honestly, was an experiment, because I'm just so fascinated by, like, we are brainwashed and told our whole lives. Everyone's brainwashed when I use that word. I'm just like, that's what we are told to believe. It's like, you need fruit, you need vegetables, you need minerals, you need vitamins, you need all this sort of stuff, and the only way to get them is through fruit and veg.
Take her there. I'm just gonna go down to Brona. I'll be back in a minute. Hold your horses.
So, for me, I was just really interested in doing it as an experiment. Like, I was joking at the start, like, oh, will I die of scurvy? Like, I knew I wasn't going to die of scurvy, and I did a lot of research prior to doing it, because it was more of a me thing than it was a Karl thing. So, like, I was watching so many videos from, like, Dr. Baker and Dr. Chafee and Michaela Peterson and, like, so many other just everyday people that have done carnivore short term or long term, and just, like, really like hearing their testimony and their experience and trying to like learn as much as I could before doing it. So for me, it really was an experiment just to see what would happen. There was a secondary thing for me. I know a lot of people, and when you look at these videos on YouTube, there's like hundreds of comments underneath being like, I had this ailment and it cured me of this, and I'm this age and this thing happened, and everything. So I just thought that was fascinating. For me, I didn't really have any ailments. Like, I was just postpartum. I had Madame here the beginning of May. So I think I was maybe 6 weeks postpartum. Yeah, I was 6 weeks. So I waited until I was 6 weeks. So other than that, which brought some back pain, and I had a couple of headaches, I didn't really have anything to heal that I could think of. Maybe when I go back on normal food, I'll start feeling something and I realise like, oh, I actually haven't had that in a while, and it has healed something for me. I don't know, but what I did want to do anyways outside of carnivore was to lose weight. So as vain as that sounds, that was definitely one of my motivations, was to lose weight. And just out of curiosity, like I knew the initial weight loss would be maybe water weight or bloating or any of that sort of stuff, and it wouldn't be like real fat or anything, but I just was like, how much can I actually lose just doing this and eating as much as I want in that period of time? So that was one of my reasons. Again, that was from an experimental point of view. I wanted to lose weight anyway, so I was like, I may as well just try this and see what happens. So anyways, moving on to just generally, how did we find it? I have some kind of points here, so maybe you can just speak on them. So your mental journey throughout carnivore.
Up and down, it was tough. It was a serious battle, for me.
Sorry, I'm gonna go down. Speak and just keep going down.
It was a real mental battle. Like, as I said, like I wanted to break the habits and break the mindset that I had towards food and towards like these pre-programmed ideas that, I needed, when I couldn't leave the house without like cereal, or I couldn't have meat for breakfast. Like, I'm programmed to just have cereal, toast, tea for breakfast, like, and I wanted to break that. And as small as it sounds to people, like, it was such a big revelation to me. So, for breakfast I would have like rashers, I would have smoked salmon, I would have scrambled eggs with a little bit of lactose-free milk. And for me, it was a mental journey. It was a challenge, to also be disciplined in what I put into my body, like, and I see so many things now that I did see, but I chose not to look at, because I didn't want to be totally put off by so many things that I was like just trying to not, like watch it and yeah, here it is. And I was just like, you know what? I'll just run with it. And when I started, like, even just shopping, and you're trying to find meat that doesn't have some sort of ingredients in it, like, it was just a real big eye opener. And for me, the mental side of that was like going down that journey of discipline, what I'm putting into my body. Like, I want to honor my body. I don't drink. Like, I haven't drank in like over 5 years now. I don't smoke. So I want to honor my body and feed it full of nutrients. And of course there's going to be times when I'm going to have some sugary stuff or real savory stuff that I know is bad for me or whatever, like, but at the same time, if I can get 80-90% of what I put into my body as good, nutritional, healthy food, then I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel healthier, I'm going to feel better in myself. My cells will be better, like, so, but the mental side of it was tough, because like, we went to the beach there last week, and we went into a restaurant, and it was like a 3-course meal for €20 each, and it was myself, Brona, and my mum, and you know, 3 courses for €20. Like that's unbelievable. And we ended up getting like a free dessert because of it as well, or something. Like we ended up getting like 2 or 3 desserts. Now we weren't eating the desserts, so my mom had them. And to me, I was just like, you know, it's that law of attraction. You know, you say you're on a diet, and then you just get thrown all of these, like, you know, and like lovely desserts, and it tries to, everything tries to break your will, and it's like, how strong is your will to get through kind of that journey, and that, you know, that, and having that discipline to bring yourself through that journey. So yeah, I went on.
Still the mental journey?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then weight-wise?
Weight-wise, so I was 93 kg, 93.3 I think kg when I started. So not that heavy, like, you know, if in my head, like 100 kg, I'd be there thinking, okay, I need to, like, you know, tone it down or something, like. But so 93k is my heaviest that I've ever been. I'm still quite active anyway, so, you know, I know it was just down to what I put into my mouth. And basically, within the first week, I think it dropped down to like 91, 90-ish, and I was like, okay, let's go for sub 90, like. And again, I'm still eating what I'm, like, the meats and everything, like, I'm still, like, eating like chicken and meat and everything, like, throughout the day. It's not like my diet within the carnivore hadn't changed in any way. And yeah, so then I was doing I was down sub 90s, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't been sub 90s in a good few years. And then I started hitting like sub 88s and all, and I was like, wow, like. And then I weighed myself this morning, and I was 85.4 kg. Now look, I understand there's a little bit of play in the scales, and, you know, food and going to the toilet. I still have a bit of a full stomach as well, so I could even be a little bit lower. But at the same time, to see the scales at such a low number for me was incredible. Like, you know, it was an amazing feeling. Like this morning, I was like, oh my god, like, what the hell, like. And that elation has, you know, spread throughout the day, and it's been amazing, you know. And also, just touching back a little bit on the weight and then the mental journey as well. I do a lot of fasting anyway, so I've done, my highest fast is over 40 hours, or 40 hours, and I do a lot of 1 day 24-hour cleanses or 24-hour fast where it's just nothing but water. And the carnivore diet, I felt, for me, was like that. It was kind of like I was fasting, but I was able to eat meat, but I was never full afterwards, and I was never panging with hunger as well. So that's just a side note on the journey as well. So yeah.
Nice. And health-wise, were there any ailments or anything? I have here about your gums.
Yeah, I feel like my gums were kind of cleared up a little bit, like little bit. Not. I'd say.
So what did you have in your gums?
I had like a bit of inflammation, and again, that's from sugary food, like not brushing well, not flossing, all that sort of stuff. And my gums would be a little bit inflamed. I definitely have felt absolutely no plaque on my teeth at all, because I'm not eating sugary stuff. I'm not having any sort of sugary stuff, no processed foods, no nothing. So, you know, at the end of the day, and when you go and brush your teeth, inspect your teeth and see actually there's layers of like plaque on your teeth. Now there's none, like, so that's been a benefit. Energy levels have been a slightly disappointing, I must say. I thought I was going to feel like more of the elation and more of the, like, yeah, I can do anything and that sort of stuff. But honestly, I've been more tired on the carnivore diet than usual. And maybe I put that down to just it being in my head that, oh, I'm not having enough food. Like, my calorie intake is definitely lower than usual, but maybe that's why as well, like, my body isn't actually getting the energy from food, so then it's turning into my body, which is burning the fat and yada yada yada. But I haven't been like overly energetic. But at the same time, there has been like spurts of like, all right, like, you know, I'm just gonna walk further now and come back. but then there's that kind of nearly like a limiting belief of like, don't do too much because you're only eating meat. And, you know, it was kind of like that kind of, you know, push-pull, like, you know, I don't want to do too much. But I know, like, that was just the mind playing tricks with you. And again, just that mental journey. But I still haven't been, like, overly energetic compared to, like, having other foods.
And just on the, like, you saying you haven't been eating as much, obviously it's because you're not eating all the other stuff, but also you found it kind of tough eating certain meats because of your teeth.
Yeah, I know, because, like, I've got, obviously, like, fillings and stuff like that, so there'd be some strips of, like, sirloin beef I wouldn't be able to, like, even if I cooked it rare, like, and I love my meat rare, like, it would just get stuck in my teeth, and it's just uncomfortable, and sometimes it can get really stuck, and then you have to get floss, and you have to get those sticks, and that's sore, so it's kind of painful as well, like. But on the other hand, you know, eating the carnivore diet food, you don't have any sugary crap in your mouth, in your system. So let's say if I was to continue the carnivore diet, you know, like, the only reason why I've got fillings is because of sugary food, like, you know, and you know, that's just the reality of it, like, you know. Whereas if I was on the carnivore diet, like, growing up, I wouldn't have
those issues,
fillings or anything like that, you know.
And just on, like, because obviously energy levels is something that when I watch all these videos, they're all like, oh, your energy just explodes and stuff. I was similar, like, it's only actually now in the last week that I've started to notice, even the last few days I've started to notice I'm not energetic, but I'm definitely not exhausted either, like.
I
don't feel like my energy has gotten worse, it just hasn't improved. It's kind of similar to what it was before. Now obviously we have 2 little kids, so that may play into it as well.
Yeah,
but
waking up in the middle of nights and stuff like that. And,
one of the other things that a lot of people talk about is like satiation, like your hunger levels. Like, a lot of people would say that, like, they just don't feel hunger, they feel so much more full on meat.
Yeah, no, I personally didn't feel like full on meat, but, like, there was times where
not
it's like,
full, like, stuffed.
Yeah,
but
no,
just, like,
stuffed,
full as in, like, not hungry.
Yeah, no, but there was times when you'd have your food, like, we'd have, like, half a chicken, or we'd have, like, a load of chicken wings, and alright, I'm grand, like, you know, or maybe I'd have, like, 3 or 4 more eggs. That'd be that, like.
But know. Would you have hunger pangs during the day?
No.
Yeah, that's more the question.
Yeah, no, not really. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, it's lunchtime, I'm hungry now, or geez, I'm actually really hungry now. Like, I wouldn't have that. And again, you kind of get that feeling when you're doing a 24-hour fast as well, like, you know, because you know you're not going to eat, so your mind is playing tricks on you.
Now, what about cravings? A lot of people say that their cravings go when they turn to carnivore.
No, well, I mean, the last week I've just been craving, again, you know, on my Instagram feed, Facebook feed, everything, like, just been like these, like, influencers making like 4 or 5 ingredient peanut butter cups, like, non-stop, literally oats or cacao powder, honey, mix it in. So I've been, the last week have been just like seeing that and going, oh my god, I can't wait to do that myself, and literally just have a couple of ingredients and not the bars of chocolate that you see being sold to you that are full of absolute crap. So so my cravings, to answer your question, my cravings have been sugary stuff, which is kind of ironic. But sorry to interject there, but I know I have the discipline to say no, and that's the test now going forward, is, do I have the discipline to say no, I actually don't want that, I don't need that, like, based on, you know.
Do you think your increased cravings in the last week is because you know you're going to finish?
Yeah,
if you were doing another month, do you think it wouldn't be until the end of the that time that they would come?
Yeah.
Okay, next one is digestion.
Okay.
You don't have to give too much information, as much as you
talking
want.
to someone today on this. So I'm quite regular in terms of bowel movements, and it's funny because we don't really talk about that, you know, to each other. Now
we're one of those couples that don't.
Yeah, and like now we're talking about it to the world. But anyway, who cares? So
it's part of the experiment.
Yeah,
it's
of course, it has to be, and again, and it's all for understanding your own body and learning learning what's good for you and what's not good for you and stuff like that. So I'm quite regular in terms of normal food that I would have ate. With the carnivore diet, I felt that obviously I haven't been going as much, probably every 3 or 4 days. Which kind of again makes you feel like you're kind of bloated and sluggish, but you're actually not, because you're dropping weight and like, you know, you're kind of like, you know, you're lighter, you know. But definitely a different bowel movement. Sometimes it could be kind of like a diarrhea type. It's never been like a full toilet, like, you know, it's always just been kind of like diarrhea, if that makes sense, but not that bad either, you know. So yeah, it's been different.
Every 3 to 4 days is kind of typical actually on carnivore, because most carnivores that I've watched have said they maybe go once or twice a week, so that would be 3 to 4 times. Once every 3 or 4 days. And there's a lot of interesting stuff there, because obviously a huge thing that people talk about is starch, or not starch, fibre, and that you need fibre and stuff. I've been someone who my whole life have had chronic constipation. I can go through these questions when I finish up myself in another video, but like me and my family, chronic constipation, my mum has IBS and diverticulitis, like digestion would be something that has been a big issue in my family. So the thoughts of like, oh, no fibre, not that I ever found that fibre helps me. I can talk about this again in another video, but you know, I've gone to nutritionists, I've gone to like so many different like medical doctors, I've got like tests on bacteria in my stomach and stuff like that. None of them have ever been able to like help me with my stomach. And funnily enough, yeah, I'm similar, maybe once, maybe twice a week, but mostly once a week at the moment. But I don't have that horrible like pain in your stomach. Like it's not a constipation feeling, it's just I don't need to go, but mentally I'm like, oh, I hope I go soon.
And even with the coffee, like, you know, like people say, oh, you have coffee and you have to go front to the toilet, like, I actually, and I've a real good kind of my own theory on coffee when it comes to the carnivore diet. But coming back to like, you know, my water intake has been a lot more, because I don't know whether it's the salt or something, but like anyway, my water intake has been like,
maybe because you're not drinking other things.
Exactly, yeah, like, so my water intake has been great. So yeah.
Expense, this is probably more of a me question,
because you've been doing all the shopping.
So prior to carnivore, we were getting, for both of us, kind of like a weekly allotment of gourmet meal deliveries, which come at a higher expense anyway. So we would have been spending maybe 140, 150 euro a week on that, plus a shop on top of that. So all our fruits, our veggies, our milk, or this or that, or everything. So we would have actually been spending approximately on shopping and food alone per week, maybe 250 euros, say. Plus going out for food if we did go like a lunch or whatever, plus coffees, plus bars of chocolate or whatever, like snacks. Do you know what I mean? Like that's plus on top of the 250. It's been hard to gauge in such a short period of time, because at the start it was like so difficult to even gauge like how much food will do us for how long. Like I could do a huge shop and it would last us 3 days. You know, so it's been like really kind of hard to gauge, but like it's kind of averaging out that our food alone, not including food for a little one, not including food for a little one as well, I'd say is coming to about 250 euros. So I think it's actually fairly equal to what it was previous. But we're saving on all of the extras. We're not going out for coffees, we're not going out for food and lunch, all that sort of stuff. So actually we've saved money going carnivore, which is really interesting. Like I've gone into like petrol stations and you're walking in and there's donuts and there's chocolates and there's crisps and there's this and there's that and there's jellies, and I'm just walking straight past them. Or like drinks, like soft drinks. Like we were never really big for soft drinks. But at the same time, like if you were going and you're like, oh, I might just get myself like an orange or something.
Sometimes it's nice to just have a can of Coke every now and then or whatever. But
like it wouldn't have been a norm for us, but it still could have happened, like all those incidental spendings. So we've actually saved money. The last one I have here on just like our general, like how we found it, is eating out. So there was 3 experiences that we've had. So one, we went to a concert in Limerick, which was like a full day thing, but we were driving home that night. Then we went to Belfast to a family do, and then we also went out to the cinema. So
no, we also no, not cinema. Last weekend we went for food at the beach.
Oh yeah, we also went to the beach. I think you spoke about that one already.
Yeah, I did,
it was so fun. Like we got like a full kind of like turkey and ham with like stuffing and vegetables and gravy and everything, and we were there like peeling the ham off. Oh, it was so nice. So peeling like the ham off the stuff. We also went to Cavan, to Virginia, for another family thing, and I literally, that was our first one. I was like, can I just have like beef, like with nothing else? And it was just like 2 strips of beef, which is perfect. But it was interesting. Limerick was kind of a day trip, and I have an issue with eating hot food cold. So I'm not someone who can just like cook a load of food and then just like eat it later on. Like I like my hot food hot. So I was wondering how I was going to really cope with that. Like I thought I was going to struggle.
Whereas I don't care, I'll just eat it.
Carl would eat anything. So I was like, oh, I'll eat, like I'll go into a restaurant or something down in Limerick and just ask for a steak or ask for chicken or whatever, I don't care. But I ended up making like meatballs out of just minced meat. Oh no, there were ones we had bought in Superbite. So we made 4 burgers and like a whole rake of meatballs that were just meat, like nothing else in them. Cooked them, and I was able to eat them while we were there. So that's kind of basically all we had while we were at that one.
Which was grand because, like, again, you're kind of, the energy is good, and you know the buzz was there, so like it was nice in that way, like. But yeah,
cinema, like we just literally got, just to get something, a bottle of water and a bottle of sparkling water.
Yeah, the sparkling water saved a lot, like in terms of like just the mental side of it. Like I would say, oh, I'm just gonna have some 7-Up now, like, and you know it's funny how you can trick your brain into thinking that it's 7-Up, and even though it's not, you still get that kind of feeling of, oh, I'm having like a fizzy drink, and it's not just normal water, but it's just carbonated water. So yeah.
And then Belfast, when we went, like we went to like a steakhouse, but I kind of tried to manipulate the menu a little bit, and they weren't really having it. They're like, oh no, you can't do that and stuff. So I was like, you know what? If it comes out with like some seasonings or whatever on it, like that's fine. Like I wasn't gonna be really like Puritan on like, how are you cooking this? Are you using like, what kind of oil are you using? Blah blah blah. I wasn't gonna do any of that. So we ended up getting like burnt ends that had a little bit of sauce on top.
Yeah, we just scraped that off.
Scrape that off for a starter. And then I asked for a cheeseburger with just the meat, and I wanted everything else on the side, because I wanted to give it to my daughter. So I wanted like the burger buns, the cheese, and all the veg like in the bun, and just the beef. And then I was like, can I get 2 extra beef patties? And then can I get like, I ended up in the end getting 3 or 4 portions of streaky bacon as well on top. Unfortunately, they put cheese on my patties, so I did have cheese that day, but it was only because it was melted in. I couldn't have taken it off, and it's still animal product, so people would still call that carnivore anyway. But that's the only bit of cheese that I had. But that was really kind of like, I just need to eat now. I'm starving, and whatever way it comes out, it comes out. But it was interesting because I got like 3 beef patties, the cheese,
rashers as well,
and the streaky bacon as well.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Okay, learnings. So I just have here single ingredient foods, but whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, so definitely single ingredient foods. So when people say, what are single ingredient foods? So think about like porridge, like oats. That's literally just a single ingredient. So the next time you're, shopping and going through like, bits and bobs. Just have a look at the ingredients. Have a look at what's actually in your food. Like, and most people don't.
Even in the meat.
You know? And even in the meat as well.
Shocking.
Like, oh
like,
my God. Like,
the amount of, because there are carnivores as well that like are not, again, like really focused on like what kind of meat. So long as it's meat, like they'll eat salami, they'll eat chorizo, they'll eat whatever.
Yeah, but
whereas that wasn't us. Like we were like, no, we don't want meat. We even went into a butcher's and like all of their burgers and stuff had seasoning in them, so we didn't get them. So we really, really sought out meat that was only the meat. And the amount of meat that we could not buy for that reason.
It's wild. And then when you're going in, like, and a lot of people will know this, but they won't know it, if that makes sense. Like, you know, they know that their food is full of, a lot of it is full of crap. But like they won't actually like take the time to research into what is actually in their food. And you know, I was looking at something there. We bought a what would you call that? My Waddy or whatever, like just
like a dilutable
drink. And again, I only wanted that just for a different taste, for when I'm finished the carnivore, like tomorrow or, you know, in a couple of days' time. But I started looking at the ingredients and I was like, oh my God, like, what is all this? And then there was like allergies in bold, and I looked at that and it was some weird chemical, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, that stuff gives you asthma. Like, you start Googling research and stuff, and it's like, what the hell? Like, you know, what we drinking, what we putting into our bodies. But anyway, so single ingredient food, fruit, like, you know, vegetables, all that sort of stuff. So I think I'll be like nuts and all that. So I'll be going like into a strict paleo. Try and limit the amount of kind of carbs that I eat, in a sense. You know, like heavy carbs. But yeah, so that was the big learning for me. Like really like single ingredient plus meat as well. I'm not gonna like not eat meat. Like but I will have like not sauces because they're just laced in sugar. I will have like you know your oregano or oregano as the Americans call it. Oregano. You know like stuff like that, like seasoning, pepper and stuff like that. But none of the odd time, of course, but you know, not all the time, like sauces and stuff. But yeah, that was a big one.
Just in terms of the shopping, because we're honest, I found it like at the very beginning, I found it like mind blowing, because I'd be going in trying to like source meat, like not having a clue, like, and then like going through all the ingredients and stuff like that, trying to remember like our staples. But I was also still purchasing for our daughter, who was having her fruit, and she was having her yogurt, and she was having her milk, and she was having all her things. And it was actually like trying to be in both spaces at the same time mentally. I found that so
that's the journey as well. Like
100%. Like I'm fine with it now. Like I know exactly what I'm getting because I've kind of figured it out. But I found that like really kind of like mentally confusing.
Browna, baby Browna loved her meat as well. Like she started eating a lot more.
That's the thing I have here, like in terms of learning, is like kids really just do eat whatever you eat. So like beforehand, if we were having bits of chocolate or like protein bars, whatever, she'd be having tiny bits of it as well. Whereas like we have not had that, so therefore she wasn't eating it, and she was totally fine with that. Or like we'd be having toast. Like she totally went off toast because we're not eating it. I was making her toast. I was buying her these things. I ended up just being like, there's no point to me buying bread because it was just getting moldy. Like it just was not being eaten.
And even bread, like, oh my God.
Like
I'm beginning to make my own bread, like, you know.
You will be.
Yeah, like, absolutely, like, oh my God. Like,
and she would just like, more so at the start, I think she's maybe getting a little bored of it now, but like she was eating so much steak, loving her rashers, loving her eggs, loving her everything. Like she was even eating smoked salmon at some stage. She'd never even had smoked salmon. She was milling it into
prawns.
Prawns.
A little bit of prawns.
Yeah, she's kind of making them more than anything. But really, like your children will eat whatever you eat. You know, and I just thought it was really interesting, just from an instinctual point of view, that she would be more inclined to go for the meaty stuff than the non-meat. She still have her fruit, but
so
and then so is there any other learnings? We're nearly at the end.
No, I think it's just a good challenge to do for yourself if you want to get into that space. You learn a lot about yourself. Like I learned just in terms of my habits and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, my learnings will now stand to me for the rest of my life, because I'll always think back and go, geez, that time, like, for a month of my life, I just ate meat, like, and fish, of course, but, like, just ate meat, like, so yeah. That was it.
Tips. So I just have 3 tips down here that I'm like, if anyone's going to do it, like, these are what I would recommend. 1, have a full fridge.
Full fridge as much as possible.
Like, you fill the fridge, you get your meat so quickly, and before you know it, like, you only have like a couple of bits left. And I found that was like the hardest time. Like, you still had food.
You got
like,
stressed, didn't you? We got stressed.
So it's like the variety was gone. So, like, you would still maybe have a bit of steak, or you'd have, like, a chicken, or you'd have whatever. But, like, because that was all you had, and you could not snack or have anything else, it was, like, really, really, like, stressful. And you'd be like, we need to go do a shop. So,
because you could change your mind as well. You could say, oh, I'm going to have this steak and eggs, and then go, actually, no, I'm going to also put on chicken wings. And then the chicken wings aren't there, and you're like, oh, my God.
Your options are so limited. So, you need to have the food there. And like, you will, like, we were doing kind of like 1 shop a week, really, but like, you have to be going a couple of times a week, 2, 3 at the start, because we were just trying to gauge, we hadn't a clue. The next thing I have here is, again, variety of food, but also variety of cooking styles. I personally love to fry food, but like, my mom, I remember she was saying, like, I just wouldn't be able to fry that much, like, I'd want to grill, or like, your mom loves the air fryer and stuff like that. And it's like, choose the cooking method that you prefer. Like, you don't have to fry, but I think having the different options just brings a different variety. Like, your eggs, you can have boiled eggs, fried eggs, poached eggs, so many different versions. So I thought that was a good tip. And then the last one I have here is to always have something that you really enjoy to eat.
So I had 2. I had the smoked salmon, but I also had the sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
Like, so those 2 really helped. And eggs. Oh my God, eggs.
True. Eggs are a staple. So, for me, it was rashers, bacon rashers. Just, I could eat them morning, noon, and night. I just loved them, and it just made every meal better.
I'm getting hungry now.
I'm getting hungry as well, so I'm definitely
getting a little bit hungry now.
It's time to get some food. But we'll just finish up with. But before we finish up, is there anything else you want to say?
There'd be loads, but sure, look, I might do a part 2 or something. Well, I'll see.
Going forward, so what are your plans, and then I'll talk about my plans.
Going forward, like, just single ingredient food as much as possible. Lots of fruits. I learned, again, just coming back to learnings, I learned that I absolutely adore fruit. I love fruit. I love it.
Probably took
all
that
my
for
heart.
granted a bit before.
And just the taste of it, I didn't, fully taste it. And now I can't wait to scoff a load of fruit into me, and then feel good, because I know that fruit is good for you as well anyway. So it's like, but yeah, going forward, single ingredient foods.
You're not continuing carnivore right now?
No, I think I'm going to have a little bit of a break and then go back on it for a week or 2 at a time. But yeah, I'm going to just I just want to finish up and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Excuse the pun, because I'm gonna enjoy a lot of fruit now tomorrow.
We're going away for the weekend, and it's our daughter's birthday and stuff, so I think Carl's gonna enjoy himself. Big time. Have a bit of cake.
But I'm not going to I'm going to be very conscious of what I put into my mouth as well. Like, I'm not just going to put in just because, like, oh, I'm free. It's like, no, the journey really starts now, like, because of all the learnings and all the discipline. So that's when it really, really starts, So
I've decided I'm going to extend for at least 2 weeks. So today's a Wednesday. I don't like finishing on a Wednesday anyway, so I prefer to finish on a Friday. But I thought, you know what, because my energy levels are only starting to improve now and stuff like that, I was like, 4 weeks is quite short a period of time for the experiment, which was my main reason for doing it. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it at least another 6 weeks. So I'm going to go for August 16th, which is a Friday. And then when I get closer to that, I'll decide what I want to do. I did always say I'm currently doing 75 soft as well, postpartum. That finishes the end of September or middle of September. So I did always say, like, I'll do carnivore until I stop doing carnivore. And when I stop doing carnivore, then it will be strict paleo for the rest of 75 soft. So that's what I'm going to do. 2 weeks. I might end up extending that. I might end up doing carnivore for the whole of 75 soft. I don't know. But when I do finish up, then I will do a full debrief of like how much I've lost, like how am I feeling, all that sort of stuff. I just didn't want to do it a disservice of being like, oh, they all say that your digestion is this and your energy levels are that, and you get all of this, and I haven't really felt it. Maybe I haven't given it long enough to feel it.
Yeah. That's a good point. So,
you know,
like a month isn't that long in the cosmos of time.
It's a lot when you're going through it,
yes,
but like in terms of like actually getting findings from it, it's not. But it'll be interesting to watch Karl and see, like, have you any concerns about coming off 75 or coming off Carnivore?
Yeah, I think just coming back actually to that coffee real quick, because I want to go and see Brona. But really quickly, I was craving coffee. Like, you know, at the start I was like, I'm not giving up coffee because I love my morning coffees. But I realised that for me, the coffee didn't mix well with the Carnivore, because it spiked me and then brought me right down, and my body just, on the Carnivore diet, you're quite level, and I think the coffee was playing into my low energy as well. And I feel like the Carnivore diet, fortunately and unfortunately, is going to knock coffee out of my diet. So unfortunately, because I love my coffee, but fortunately, like, they say coffee's not good for you, yada yada yada, and you only whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I just think coffee, like, you know, like I probably will be drinking it less, you know.
What,
so.
in terms of your weight or anything? I mean,
no,
concerns or anything?
No, I like, look, I'll probably put on another kilo or two, but
you'll still be down.
I'll still be way down to what I'm
Yeah.
at, like, you know, and if anything, I'll probably still burn more, and I'll still be heading down that direction.
Yeah.
But like, I'm super happy with where I'm at, you know.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
You did great.
So did you.
So yeah, that's it for this week. I will be continuing, so there will be a video next week. Don't know what that's going to be on yet. But yeah, it's just been great. I'm delighted that we did it together.
Yeah.
I know we're both getting starving, so I think
Yes.
it's going to be a double steak for me.
Yeah, loads of chicken. I want some
Maybe
chicken.
some chicken.
And what else do you have?
We'll have to go down and see.
Yeah, I think we got mince as well. So
if you made it this far, we're 46 minutes in. Thank you. Unedited.
Yeah.
Busy, 2 children running up
One
and
shot.
down.
Boom. Thanks, folks.
Have a good week. Bye. Good morning. It is Wednesday, 7th of August. This week was a little bit different in that I was away for the weekend from Friday to Monday, so didn't get to do my weigh-in or my picture on the Sunday like I normally would. And on top of that, I haven't felt great this week, without there being too much information like TMI. I haven't gone to the toilet, like today's Wednesday, in 2 weeks, so 2 Wednesdays ago, and I don't feel great about that. I'm not in any pain or anything, but I definitely feel bloated. I definitely feel like I need to go to the toilet, and it's just not happening for me. I really hope that it happens today. But that kind of like put me off weighing myself when I came back as well. So I have just weighed myself. I'm 73.5, which is still good considering. But I would also be interested to see how much I weigh after going to the toilet. So yeah, I'm not going to bother showing you the scales. I haven't taken any pictures. I'm not going to bother taking them now because I just feel like crap. But I'm finishing up next week for sure. I'm not going to extend it beyond next Friday. So I've got about 9-10 days left of Carnivore. So we'll see. We'll finish up and see like what my final weight is and my final pictures. But yeah, just wanted to let you know this is an experience that I'm having on this, and I don't feel great about it, and I'm not that happy about it, and yeah, I'm definitely at this stage right now will not be. I've said I'll go to the 16th, so I'll go to the 16th, but I don't feel like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever and I'm just going to stay in this. When I finish up next week, I think I'm going to go paleo, so it's not going to be like full blown back to norm, but I definitely do want to have like other bits, like some maybe Greek yogurt and berries and different things. So anyways, enough of that. Just want to close off this video by saying that I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Next week I don't really know what I'm going to do. I might not post next week, and then just at the end of Carnivore do my own kind of Q&A, because I can't really think of what to do next week other than that. So keep your fingers crossed for me. It's the weirdest request ever. But I will see you soon in the next video, and thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.